Hello, welcome and thank you for coming back. Today we are going to be looking at Tárrega's Estudio. It is a arpeggio study in E minor. It's a good primer for the classic romance without all the harder bar chords. It still has a bar chord in there of B7. The two main things that you're going to have to get right in this piece are the arpeggio and the chords. The chords will require sequential fingering. Now before we kick off, just remember to hit that subscribe button and like, it really helps the channel out. The first thing you're going to have to get right in this piece is the right hand pattern. Now it's not particularly hard, so if you can get it under your fingers, the rest will go on autopilot. All we're doing is we're going to go with the odd block chord. So that pattern is thumb and ring on both E strings, middle on B, and index on G. And then we go B, B, G, E, B, G one more time. So it's a 9-note pattern. You're going to want to accent the E string, the treble E string, because that's where the melody is. So it's going to be maybe not that extreme, but you want the melody to come out. That's the right hand pattern. Let us now look at the chords. It is an E minor, so we can expect E minor, A minor, and B7, which is what we get. There is also a D7 and a G in there as well. So let's the E minor chord. With the melody on top, it moves around. So E minor is going to be the exact exercise we just did. So it's just open E, open G, open B, and the other open E. The A minor chord that is in this piece is A in the bass, A on the G string, C on the B string, open E. Although it tends to sit there with an F sharp in there. The B7 chord is a bar chord on the 2nd fret. So we need B with our first finger, we need A with our first finger, and F sharp with our first finger on the 5th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. And then we also have a D sharp on the 2nd string, 4th fret there. So that's the block chord for that. We have another iteration of A minor, which is the half bar on the 5th string. So we have open A again, then we have C, E, and A, which we catch with our first finger on the 5th fret. There is a D7, so we have D, A, C, and F sharp. So that's open D, A on the G string, 2nd fret, C, and F sharp, which is 2nd fret on the 1st string. There is another version of the D7 chord, which is, so that's a slightly different voicing. So it goes D, so open D again. Then we have the C is now moved up to the G string on the 5th fret. We have another D in there, 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And we have our A on the top now, which is the 5th fret on the 1st string. The G chord moves around with the melody, so it's going to be G, G and B with melody notes on top. So if you put the G on top, that makes it a G chord. Put the B on top, makes it a G chord, G, B, D. The A is just a suspension. So they are all the chords. Let's put them in order and look at the sequential fingering and the melody that we have to put on top. To start off with, it's an E minor chord. The melody goes E, G, G with an E minor chord under it. So, and then we move to A minor with the melody G, F sharp, F sharp. Now you've got to pay attention to the fingering in your E minor chord to make the A minor sequential fingering work. I'm playing the G with my pinky. Now sequential fingering is where you put down the fingers as you need them. So you play your chord as a melody and hold the notes. Coming out of our E minor chord, we want to play, we're only going to put those fingers down as we need them. That way we get a bit of bleed in between the chords and it flows a lot better than trying to go dropping the chord down in one go. So I want you to practice going 3rd finger, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger, 2nd finger. that's not even how it works in the piece, because we're going to go... You already have your pinky down, so you don't need to put that down, it's there from the E minor. First finger, second finger. First finger, second finger. That's when you're putting the notes down. And then first finger, second finger, third finger. So it's just about putting the notes down as you need them. Now, same thing applies to the B chord. The B chords can be a bit tricky to get, just landing it, because you've just come from... Now you see that I don't put my third finger down until I need it. Trying to get your bar, the pinky and your third finger down all at the same time, dropping that chord is a bit tricky. But just the bar, and you don't even need to apply the whole bar pressure until you get to the A anyhow. So practicing the change, just get the B and the A to work to start off with. And then you can work to put the D sharp in. And then you work to getting that A in there as well. And then you play the melody, which goes A, G, F sharp, A, G, F sharp, and then we jump up to playing that nice B on top with an E minor chord, and you can vibrato that a lot as well. So that is the first section, it just repeats itself. To get your ending, you're going to use this B on the D string to finish out your E minor chord. So that's the first half. The second half has a few more challenges, as it has that D7 to G change. And it also has the A minor, and it moves around a lot more. So it starts off with... We're outlining an E chord on the E string. Pay attention to the fingering. Third finger, third finger. This lines you up for the A minor chord. So this is the A minor with the bar on fifth. So the melody so far is going E, G, B, and then we have B, A, C. Simple enough so far. Now we come into the really sequential fingering part. So we're changing our inversions of our D chord. So when we're going to put the notes down, we're going to go now, 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 now. So the notes there, we go F sharp, C, A, G, C, A, D, C. You're not going to be able to drop those block chords, and it won't sound as good anyhow. So that's the D, and then we go to G. So it's just quickly get your first finger up to the G, keep that A there, and we have the open B and G. The melody goes down to G, and up to B. So we've got with the melody going. Over the D7s and the G chord. And then it just finishes out the same way as the first part. E minor, A minor, B7, a nice little harmonic at the end. So for those of you that can't play harmonics, they're not too hard. The idea is, instead of fretting in the box in between the frets where you normally fret, you've got to place your finger very lightly above the fret. You should be able to play the note and then touch it and create a harmonic. Tells you how light you have to touch it. You can touch the string without killing it, but you want to get those harmonics, and then you have to do it with a bar, or practice it with different fingers, whichever finger works more comfortably for you. Sometimes I like the pinky because it comes up to the 12th fret, I don't have to look. The thirds of it will solid. They're not going to work with 2 fingers down. The second half. Now there's just the dynamics of the piece to take into account. The first half is piano, the second half is mezzo forte. So we build up when we get into our second half, make it louder. But there are repeats to take into consideration as well. When you have repeated material, you don't want to repeat it exactly the same because that can start sounding very dull. With the guitar, we've got ponticello and saltasto to play with. So the first section I like to play normal, so thumb over the sound hole, fingers just behind, and then when I repeat, I come up and I play saltasto. So that sound the first time, and that sound the second time, and you can slowly come back to the middle. If you want, you could also go the first time for the second half, and then ponticello. So for the second half, if you want to have even more variation, instead of going saltasto, you can go ponticello for the repeat, or you can even start off with ponticello. It's quite dramatic. So if you bring your saltasto back to normal from the repeat the first half and then start the second half, and then the second time, it just gives the piece a lot more flavour. So that's the study. Arpeggios, couple of bars, getting the sequential fingering to work. There are plenty of pieces on the guitar that use this arpeggio pattern. It works very well, it sounds great. Not all in E minor or E major either, you'll find them in other keys. So it's a really good one to just get under your fingers and have in your bag. You subscribe and hit like. If you have any pieces that you want me to cover for you, just leave a comment or comment anyhow. See you next time.